Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Bullion. Our guest today is Eric Strand from AUAG Fund. Eric, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It's a huge pleasure having you come down. I wanted to get you down to talk about everything that's happening in the precious metals market, the mining sector, even, the broad market right now. First, though, let's start off with gold and silver. Last time I had you on, gold was at a lot lower price than it is right now. So we're seeing new all-time highs, seems like almost every month. What are your thoughts on gold right now from now till the end of
Well,
2020?
yeah, we had a outlook for the year beginning at gold at 3,300 at the end of the year, and that was like rather high at that time. And now we saw gold go through 3,500. It has been coming back since then. So now it's looked like the 3,300 is like a low target, and we see the big banks, even JP Morgan, coming out with 4,000. So it's very interesting from now on.
What are your targets now for the end of 2025? You guys had your market review for 3,300. Do you have an idea? Like, are you thinking 4,000 the same?
Yeah. Well, actually, we haven't reviewed them yet because I had a pretty good feeling that prices were going to come down. So I don't want to go too early with the new review. But actually, in September, we went out with a target of that everything below 4,000 is cheap. And then Mr. Grundlach, the bond king, also got out with the 4,000. And Chinese news media got that and printed it some 2 weeks ago that we are talking about the 4,000 gold. And actually, what we have a fair price for gold, and it's actually at today at 4,290. So that means that we think gold is cheap below 4,290. Over that today, it would be expensive, but in that way of counting it, I mean, gold has only been expensive at around 2011 at the top, then a little bit expensive, but now it's still cheap, and it has been getting a bit cheaper as well now the last few weeks.
What about silver? What are your takes on silver?
Well, our forecast for silver is much higher again, and we really think that silver will run, and when it runs, it will run really, really fast. So you can't really join it when it runs. You have to be there before invested for the long run, and I mean, it has been not so strong as gold, but still, I mean, before we were talking about the 20, 23, 22, 21, below 20. I mean, now we've been over 30 for a long time. It's rather stable in this 32, 33 range. And I think we pass 35 and then we see some fireworks. And of course, if we get a physical shortage from the industry, then we'll go really, really fast.
What are your thoughts on, a few months back they were talking about auditing, Fort Knox, and is the gold really there or is it leased? What are your thoughts on that? If the gold is not really there, what will that do to the gold market?
But first, I mean, history tells us a lot. I mean, when in the US had 16,000 tons of gold reserves and then lost half of it in a couple of years during the Vietnam War, and then breaking the peg to gold, 1971, August 15. And I mean, it already halved at that time. And
Yeah.
since then, no real audits. Now they speak about the audits, but they didn't really do it. So, I mean, that's not a very good sign if they speak
Yeah.
about it and then don't do it.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do the audit because maybe they're trying to hide something, or even if the gold, a lot of people are saying the gold is leased. It's in the vaults in Fort Knox, but it's not really Americans' gold.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a big problem if you get a shortage on gold. I mean, it's not so easy to get a shortage on gold like silver, but still, I mean, gold is still trading at the margin what is available for trading, and that's not so much. And they can run into trouble, I think. I mean, especially we see how strong the Chinese are buying, and when they change the rules, and all the banks and insurance companies are they want them to invest in gold as well. So that's a dangerous play to lease your gold.
And now a message from our sponsor, Juggernaut Exploration.
One of the more exciting ones, I think, is Juggernaut. I know some people say, well, lightning can't strike twice, and but look, I think one of the things you got to reflect on is that the some of the guys who work here at Juggernaut are some of the same geologists that basically found and have now advanced sherbet at Goliath, okay, over the past years. So they have a very different way of thinking about exploration in the Golden Triangle than most other geologists, okay? And they've gone out and they've identified what could be another sherbet type target here. And the size of these veins is absolutely jaw dropping. My hunch is these guys are onto something pretty special.
The link in the description is right below for Juggernaut exploration. Now back to the episode. Absolutely. Now, what are your thoughts on tariffs right now? You think it's a good thing, bad thing? What's your general overview?
Well, I think it's hard to say that it's a good thing. I mean, worst thing I think is it creates a lot of insecurity for companies. How much should they dare to invest in? Which country should they invest? And then you just press the pause button and nothing happens. And then I think that's a big problem for society. And tariffs, I mean, they will do tariffs, and of course, maybe the China will devaluate their currency to compensate for that. Probably that's a reason for Chinese investors to buy gold before China devaluates their currency. So I don't think it's a good point, and it looks like it's not really working as well. So let's see what happens. Insecurity, not good for any market or any company. Probably a good thing for gold. But for gold, I mean, there are so many other things going good for gold, so gold doesn't need the tariffs.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the BRICS nations like Russia and China? A lot of people are saying they're accumulating so much gold that they're preparing to, put their currencies or, peg the BRICS nations to a gold back, currency to move it away from the US dollar. Will it be successful? Will it work? How effective will it be?
Well, we think, I mean, what we do see from the President Trump is what are they interested in? It's metals, it's minerals. I mean, it's Ukraine minerals, it's Congo minerals. I mean, they were interested in Mexico, Canada, Greenland. All is about metals. So that's a bit strange that the investor community haven't really picked up on that. That they're all about metals. Everything is about the metals. It's not about the tariffs or
Right.
anything else. It's about the metals. And actually, I mean, we are in a currency war, not a trade war. It's a currency war. And of course, having the reserve currency as the US dollar is a big power to have that the world currency. And of course, other countries have not been so happy, like you see, I mean, Russia confiscating their reserves within other countries, and of course with China fighting with the US as well. I think they will go for something else, and there will be gold involved in that. I mean, and they of course will use different systems than the SWIFT system that has been like controlled by the US to send money. And I think anybody who really wanted to go off the dollar got into trouble because the US wants to defend the power that reserve currency gives. And we saw that with, I mean, nobody maybe liked Iraq and Saddam Hussein, but still, it was when he said he wanted to get paid in euro instead of dollar for their oil. That's when they got invaded. And we saw it in Libya. It was when Gaddafi, who said suddenly, I want to be paid in gold and not in dollar. And then he got out of the way. So it's a big game. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it goes all the way to war.
Hello,
Yeah.
my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking. Yeah, I mean, and imagine if Russia and China say, "Hey, I don't want to use US dollars. I want to use gold. Pay me in gold." Like, can America just invade them?
Well, that is the problem, and it's getting more and more intense in this issue. And I think the more things you try to stop it, probably the bigger the problem gets. So I think the medicine is maybe worse than the cure. I mean, it's really bad medicine that is used now to try to stop this instead of going the other way.
Absolutely. Now, what about the mining sector, Eric? You see a lot of people talking about, why is it so undervalued in the silver mining and the gold mining sector compared to the actual price of gold going up? How much more potential is there right now in the mining sector?
But first of all, I would like to say positive on the mining sector is that 2025 has been a totally different year, especially for a European investor like us, because the leverage of the price of the gold going up. But as the US dollar has been weak, a European gold investor has not received so much return on his gold because maybe gold was up 20%. They only have 10% returns, but the mining stocks have going up 40%, and okay, less the FX, it's still 30%. So there is a 3 times better return in the mining companies than in gold in 2025 for European investors, and I think that's very, very interesting for us in Europe. So things are changing, but as you said, they are very cheap. There was the problem that costs went up, like with the inflation.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, costs have stabilized. Energy prices are really low. The companies are doing well. They're not doing any stupid things, and good cash flows, good dividends, a lot of share buybacks. M&A is active. Everything looks good, but the investors are not there to push the price up. So maybe we see the rotation coming soon. I hope so, because what has happened now is that like normal global index funds have been going down and down a lot. So maybe people start to look, is there something else to invest in? And then, of course, miners are really, really cheap and a big opportunity. But still, we have to see the money coming. And when they come, big things will happen.
Absolutely. Now, Eric, I want to thank you so much for coming down and speaking to the gold and silver community, to speaking to all of us. It's such a huge, huge pleasure. And as the market develops, I really would love to have you back on in the future.
Anytime.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.